Upon seeing Kamdev, the god of lust, point an arrow toward him, Lord Shiva's brow creased with anger. He unleashed fire from his third eye, instantly reducing Kamdev to ashes. There was a huge explosion. The gods cried out, and Parvati backed away in fear, her face pale and limbs trembling. Never had she felt so terrified. When Parvati returned to her palace, she began to weep silently, and then aloud. She was no longer afraid, but in the throes of the pain of separation from Lord Shiva. She examined her reflection and thought, "Fie upon this beauty, my nature, my birth. I will never succeed, will I? Parvati?" She turned. It was the celestial sage, Narada. "I have heard all that happened from your father, and I am sympathetic to you. I want to help. Listen, as my instructions will lead to the achievement of your desire. You have served Mahadev so far without performing austerities. You had some pride, which he eradicated. After burning Kamdev, Lord Shiva left you, since he is a great yogi and is therefore unattached to anyone. Hence, you shall propitiate him by performing great tapasya. After you have been sanctified by those austerities, Lord Shiva will take you as his wife. You will never forsake him, Devi, and rest assured, you will not take any other than Lord Shiva as your husband." Parvati exhaled deeply, her anxiety dissipating, and folded her hands. "Thank you, great sage. You have already helped me enormously, but I ask you further. Please tell me a mantra that I can use to propitiate him. No sacred rite will ever bear fruit without a good preceptor." Narada smiled. "Yes, the mantra is Om Namah Shivaya. This is the king of all mantras. It yields all cherished desires, bestows all worldly pleasures and salvation, is supremely efficient, and appeals much to Lord Shiva. By repeating this mantra in accordance with the injunctions, you shall propitiate him, and he will certainly appear before you. Meditate on his form, observing all restraints. Repeat the mantra, and Lord Shiva will be pleased quickly. Parvati, know that he can only be attained through tapasya. Good luck." Parvati promptly sought an audience with her father, King Himavat. Parvati's maids, Jaya and Vijaya, said, "Your Majesty, let the words of your daughter be heard through us. She wishes to make her body, beauty, and family fruitful. This can only be achieved through tapasya. Kindly grant her permission to go to the forest and perform austerities there." The king paused and said, "There is no doubt that my house will be fortunate. What could be more auspicious than this?" Parvati and her maids approached Queen Mana next and asked her the same, but the queen frowned, her face etched with foreboding. Parvati spoke, "Mother, I shall go in the morning to begin performing tapasya to achieve Lord Shiva. Please permit me to go to the grove for the task." The queen sighed and looked beseechingly. "Daughter, if you wish to perform tapasya, you can do so at home. Where do you wish to go? All the deities are in my house. All the holy centers and temples are here too. Do not be stubborn. What did you achieve when you went out previously? What are you going to achieve now? My child, slender is your body and hard is tapasya. Hence, you shall perform it here. For a woman to go to a grove for the realization of her desire is unheard of. Do not go out." Parvati was crestfallen at this and tried to comply, but Queen Mena observed that Parvati's worship at home contained no joy or enthusiasm. So the queen reversed her decision. "You may go, Uma," she said, upon which the princess was elated. Parvati set aside her fine clothes and necklaces and wore tree barks, deerskin, and a girdle of grass. She then arrived at Gangavataran, the same spot in the Himalayan ridge where Kamdev had been burnt to ashes by Lord Shiva some time ago. Parvati stood unmoving in the clearing and recalled how Lord Shiva had looked, sitting in meditation, right here. She had seen him with her own eyes, and now he was gone. as if that memory were only a dream. This place now felt like a void, a black hole that threatened to swallow her. Her heart ached for him. Where are you? She thought. Parvati walked to Shringi Tirth and prepared the area for her tapasya. She cleaned the ground, lay holy plants, and built an altar. She sat, her spine straight, and closed her eyes. She began repeating the mantra imparted to her by the sage Narada, Om Namah Shivaya, until her mind became engrossed in its syllables and Lord Shiva's form. She also suppressed her sense organs and took steps to bolster the intensity of her austerities. In the summer, she kept a perpetually blazing fire around her. In the monsoon, she sat on the bare ground and got drenched in the downpour. In the winter, she would often become buried in the snow. Every day, every night, every moment, she repeated, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Chill gusts of wind, freezing rain, and unbearable heat she bore with equanimity. All kinds of worries she did not mind. Concentrating on Lord Shiva alone, she remained as firm and steady as a mountain. The first year she spent eating fruits, the second, leaves, and eventually she ate no food at all. Like this, Parvati spent 3,000 years in the grove performing tapasya and meditating on Lord Shiva, an effort that had surpassed that of sages. She contemplated, does the Supreme Lord know that I am observing these rituals? Wherefore am I not followed by him, though engaged in tapasya? Lord Shiva is always sung in praise as the bestower of welfare. He is omniscient, all-pervading and all-seer. The Lord is the bestower of all riches, the molder of fine emotions, and the remover of devotees' distress. If I am devoted to that Lord, discarding all desires, may he be pleased with me. If the mantra Om Namah Shivaya has been continuously repeated by me with great devotion, may he be pleased with me. If I am a devotee without aberrations of Mahadev, may he be extremely pleased with me. Pondering like this incessantly, she performed tapasya for a long time, with her face turned downwards, her hair matted, and her mind without fault. The world, however, had definitely taken notice of Parvati's efforts. Sages said to themselves, tapasya greater than this has never been before, nor will it ever be. She demonstrates an incredible standard as to what is possible. Even nature had shifted. Natural enemies like lions and cows in and around her hermitage became free from animosity due to her power. Trees bore fruits, grasses grew in plenty, and flowers of variegated nature and color blossomed there. The entire forest became comparable to Kailash. One day, King Himavat approached Parvati, his family behind him. He had tears in his eyes. Dearest daughter, do not torture yourself with these austerities. Lord Shiva is not to be seen. Certainly, he is supremely detached. You are a young woman of tender limbs. You will be overpowered and exhausted by this tapasya. There is no doubt about it. Hence, you must get up. Come back home. Of what avail is Lord Shiva, who reduced Kamdev to ashes? He is unemotional. He will not come to claim you as his wife. Why do you yearn for him? Just as the moon in the sky cannot be caught, Mahadev is inaccessible. Parvati smiled. You say that Lord Shiva is detached, but I shall propitiate him by means of tapasya. He is favorably disposed to his devotees, and he will certainly be pleased. With my austerities alone, I shall bring him here, the one who burnt Kamdev to ashes. Mahadev can be easily served through tapasya. Father, know this truth. Kindly return home and don't be anxious over this. Upon hearing her words, Parvati's father, mother, and brothers became quiet in astonishment. Then her family returned from where they came, praising her. in their minds. In time, the three worlds, including the gods, demons, and men, nay, all the mobile and immobile beings, began to burn. Indra and the gods in heaven were extremely agitated. All their limbs had been scorched. The gods said, "Brahmadev, the whole of this universe has been created by you. Why is it inflamed?" The gods then sought an audience with Lord Vishnu, saying, "Save us, O Lord." Lord Vishnu said, "The entire reason has been known to me. It is caused by Parvati's great austerities. I shall now go to Lord Shiva, accompanied by all of you, and we shall request him to approach Parvati and marry her for the welfare of the three worlds. We shall do everything necessary to make Mahadev grant her a boon." The gods then approached Lord Shiva. Lord Vishnu said, "O Lord, the gods have come here to submit to you their misery perpetuated by the demon Tarak. This demon will be killed only by your son and not otherwise. This is the boon granted to him by Brahmadev, incapable of being killed by others. The demon harasses the entire universe. Ponder over what I have said and redeem the gods. Accept Parvati's hand in marriage. She is full of noble attributes and was born to attain you. The demon's death can only be at the hands of your son begotten of her. At the encouragement of Narada, she is performing great Tapasya. All three worlds have been enveloped in her effulgence. Mahadev, go and grant Uma a boon. Destroy our misery and bestow happiness on us. Also, there is great enthusiasm in my heart and in others to witness your marriage." Lord Shiva said, "I know the sufferings you undergo from the demon Tarak, and I shall remove them. Although I am not interested in dalliance, I shall marry Parvati to beget a son. Gods, go back to your respective abodes. I shall achieve your task. You need not be anxious at all." Parvati was seated in her normal position on the Gauri Shikhar mountain when 7 sages approached and beheld her, a lady who shone with inner brilliance and austeric power. They asked, "O daughter of the mountain, why do you perform this tapasya? Which god do you wish to propitiate, and for what purpose?" Parvati said, "On hearing my words, you will laugh at me considering my proposal impossible. O Brahmins, I hesitate in revealing it, but what can I do? This mind is resolute, helplessly attempting a great task. Verily, it is like trying to build a high wall on the surface of water. At the bidding of the celestial sage Narada, I am performing this steady tapasya with the desire that Rudra be my husband. The unfledged bird of my mind flies tenaciously. May Lord Shiva, the storehouse of mercy, fulfill its desire." The sages chuckled mockingly and said, "Although you are wise and intelligent, you are not able to see through the conduct of that celestial sage. Narada misleads others, and Mahadev, for whose sake you are performing this elaborate tapasya, is perpetually indifferent and immune to emotions. He has an inauspicious body and has no home or pedigree. He associates with ghosts and goblins and the like. Think to yourself, how much pleasure could be derived from getting such a bridegroom? At first, he married Sati, the chaste daughter of Daksh, but he could not maintain a household for even a few days. Eventually, the Lord went on meditating on his own form, free from stains and sorrows, and sported happily. He is single without a second, and without attachment. How can a woman put up with him? At our bidding, return to your house. Cast off this foolish intention. You will benefit thereby." Parvati laughed. "O sages, what you have said may be true according to your understanding, but my determination cannot be affected. Being born of a mountain, toughness is natural to me. You will please desist from trying to dissuade me. I shall never discard Narada's wholesome advice. The advice of preceptors is not to be eschewed, whether it leads to a household or otherwise. My tenacity will remain pleasing to me forever. As to your statement that Lord Shiva is devoid of attributes, I shall tell you the reason. He is Brahman, unchanging and without aberration. He assumes shapes and forms for the welfare of his devotees. Lord Shiva is supreme bliss personified in an avdut form. He is devoid of attributes, unborn, free from illusion, of invisible movement, and a cosmic being. I know Shiva truly only through the blessings of my preceptor. If Mahadev does not marry me, I shall remain forever alone. Even if the sun were to rise in the west, if the mountain Meru were to move, if fire were to become cool, and if the lotus were to bloom on a rock, my stubbornness cannot be nullified. After saying thus and bowing to the sages, Parvati closed her eyes and remembered Shiva with an unruffled mind. On realizing the determination of Parvati, the sages were delighted, as they had been sent to test her. They mentally bowed and simultaneously bestowed blessings upon her. Upon reaching Lord Shiva's abode, they apprised him of their meeting with her, which made Lord Shiva gently smile. Parvati stared into the distance, while her two maids, Jaya and Vijaya, looked at her with loving concern. Then an old ascetic man rounded the corner, his hair matted and gray. He held an umbrella in one hand and a walking stick in another. Parvati greeted him warmly and worshipped him with great joy, finally asking, "Who are you, and from where have you come?" "In the guise of a brahmacharin, you are making this forest bright by your splendor," he said. "I'm an aged Brahman, roaming about as I please, bestowing happiness and helping others. Who are you? Why do you perform tapasya in this isolated forest? Your austerities cannot be surpassed, even by the sages of eminent status. You are neither a small girl nor an old woman. How is it that you are performing this tapasya even when you are unmarried?" "My name is Parvati. I'm the daughter of Himachal. Previously, I had been born as Sati, the daughter of Daksh. By yogic means, I cast off my body since my father insulted my husband, Lord Shiva. Even in this life, Lord Shiva came to me, but due to ill luck, he reduced Kamdev to ashes, left me, and went away. Then I came out of my father's house, being greatly dejected, to perform this steady tapasya on the banks of the celestial river. But even after performing these severe austerities for a long time, I could not attain him. I was just about to consign myself to fire, but on seeing you, I stopped for a while. But now I will proceed. I shall enter the fire, since I have not been accepted by Lord Shiva. Wherever I take birth, I shall woo only him." After saying so, Parvati jumped into the fire, but due to her ascetic power, it became as cool as sandalwood paste. The Brahmin laughed. "Oh, gentle lady, I cannot understand anything. Your tapasya is amazing. Your body is not charred by the fire. It is in you that the fruit of tapasya is seen. Still, your desire remains unsatiated so far. Tell me more about it. Leave nothing out. Why have you rendered your beauty in vain by discarding your fine clothes in favor of coarse hide? Be honest." Parvati nudged her maid, Vijaya, to speak for her. Vijaya said, "O saintly sir, my friend is not married to anyone, nor does she desire any other than Lord Shiva for her husband. She has performed this tapasya for 3,000 years for that sole purpose. She has planted many trees, and all of them have put forth flowers and fruits. O holy sage, how is it that her desire remains unfulfilled?" The Brahmin laughed harder. "If that's true, let her speak for herself." Parvati said, "Sir, my friend has said the whole truth. I have tried to woo Lord Shiva using my mind, speech, actions, and ascetic feelings. I know he is an inaccessible object. How can I attain him? Still, out of my eagerness, I am performing this tapasya. I welcome your advice." The Brahmin looked at her closely and said, "If you are truly desirous of hearing, then I shall explain everything, whereby you may gain some wisdom. I know Shiva through and through, with all his weighty attributes. Listen with attention. Mahadev is bull-mannered. His body is smeared with ashes. He wears little clothing. He holds a skull. Serpents twine around his limbs. Poison has left a mark on his neck. He has odd eyes and is definitely awful. He is devoid of the enjoyment of a householder. What is the reason whereby you wish him to be your husband? O gentle lady, where has your wisdom gone? You are a jewel among women. Discarding the life at home, you yearn for a life in the forest. It is against the conventions of the world. On your head, divine plaited hair shines with glossy splendor. But Shiva has only matted hair to boast of. There is no matching beauty between you both. He is detached from everything, hence you cannot fix your mind on him. O divine lady, everything concerning you and Shiva, such as form and features, is mutually discordant. Turn your mind from him. Hearing this soliloquy, Parvati's brow creased with anger. She couldn't contain her rage any longer. Lo, another person has come to deter me. Why won't they stop? I've heard everything before. What has been said by you is known. Sometimes Lord Shiva is seen in that guise, but he is the supreme Brahman who out of his own accord takes up bodies in his own sports. Using false arguments, you have spoken fraudulent words. I know the real form of Shiva very particularly. He is in fact devoid of attributes, but for some reasons he takes up attributes. How can he have a birth, he who is free from all qualities but chooses to assume them? Shiva is the support and receptacle of all lores. Of what avail is learning to him who is perfect and the supreme soul? Every individual soul becomes fearless and conquers death by worshipping him. Hence, his designation, the conqueror of death, is famous in all the three worlds. Even if a person is perpetually poor for 7 lifetimes, after serving Shiva, his prosperity becomes unhampered. Although Lord Shiva resorts to inauspicious things, thinking on him, everything becomes auspicious. His worship fulfills all desires. How can there be aberration in him who always remains in an unmodified state? If, out of ignorance of his reality, anyone were to discredit Shiva, his merit, hoarded ever since birth, becomes reduced to ashes. You have censured Lord Shiva, and I have worshipped you. Hence I have become sinful. O wicked one, you profess knowledge of Shiva, but you should know that the eternal Shiva is not known at all. Whatever may be the form or feature of Shiva, he is multiformed, and he is my favorite. He is without aberration and beloved of the good. After realizing this with my sharp intellect factually, I have come to this forest and am performing this elaborate tapasya to attain him. My ambition is to attain the Supreme Lord who is favorably disposed to his devotees and who blesses the distressed. After saying this, Parvati stopped and meditated on Lord Shiva with an unaffected mind. When the old man began to say something, Parvati, who was averse to hearing any disparaging remarks about Lord Shiva, spoke immediately to Vijaya. This base Brahman is inclined to say something else. Let us leave this place at once and go elsewhere. Let there be no more talk with this ignorant man. Before Parvati could walk away, the Brahman manifested as Lord Shiva and clasped her hand. After assuming the handsome form in the manner Parvati had meditated upon, Lord Shiva addressed her while she stood with her lowered head. Where will you go, leaving me? You are not to be abandoned by me again. Tell me what boon shall I bestow? There is nothing that cannot be given to you. O gentle maiden, wise and true of soul, lo, now I bend beneath thy sweet control. Won by thy austerities and thy holy vows, thy willing slave, Shiva, before thee bows. O steady-minded one, you have been tested by me in various ways. Let my guilt be excused in following this worldly game. In all the three worlds, I do not see a beloved like you. In every respect, I am subservient to you. Even a moment apart feels like an era. Parvati, O great goddess, you are my eternal wife. When Mahadev spoke in this way, Parvati rejoiced. Whatever distress she had felt during her tapasya, she cast off as something old. Her weariness subsided. For when the fruit of one's efforts is realized, the exertion felt during the process perishes.